Hey folks, how you doing? Well, hope you all enjoyed the this morning's session, the look around the lightning, and of course with our engineers giving us a tour of the lightning. That was pretty cool, and of course the lightning run, which was I hear that everybody enjoyed that. Interesting though that. He was running it at 90%, 88 to 90%, which was quite incredible, really. And then later on, saying that afterwards, saying that they're going to be revising the hard standing at the just around where the lightning is, and sort of like repaving it, and they're gonna put a couple of hooks, literally encase them in concrete so that they can run the afterburners, which is going to be pretty spectacular and loud, it has to be said. But wasn't it beautiful, eh? English Electric Lightning. Oh, say about that. Very bring back a lot of memories for me, that does, from the old air show days. Are we seeing that in the background there? Seeing it? There she is, yeah, there she is. So yeah, if I stand in between the two of them, there we go, how about that? But yes, it was fantastic, and really enjoyed it. I hope everybody else did. Just then, anything like the first part, this should be good. Well, the good thing is that we've got 4 engines firing up on this Shackleton. And interestingly enough, if you weren't with us earlier, it's a contra-rotating blade system, which basically means that because of the size of the aircraft, well, actually more so for the weight of the aircraft and its carrying capabilities, it required a lot of engine power. And of course, back in those days, the Griffin was one of the most powerful engines that was available on the market, apart from obviously some of the jet engines, which were still not so much in their early stages of development, but this particular aircraft wasn't able to be redeveloped into an aircraft that could run a jet engine. And to be honest with you, I think the chances are that they probably would have ripped the wings off if it had have been jet engine powered. So what they did was they utilised this contra-rotating blade system, which is quite a simple setup in terms of engineering. It's literally, I think there's two adjoined gearboxes, or just a system which basically has a split shaft splitter. So basically the front shaft spins one way and the back shaft spins another, and it's as simple as that. It's all based on what's down in the gearbox section of the engine, and on either side of the aircraft, on the number 1 and number 4 engine, there's a jet engine attached literally to the back end of each of the Griffin engines, which was used primarily for getting the aircraft off the ground when it was fully laden. So some interesting stuff there. They're not running the jet engines because they're not in it, basically. But these Griffins, I've watched it on video, and of course when you compare that to the Lancaster bomber, the engine startup is far more. It seems to be far smoother with the Griffin engine compared to the old Merlin engine, but still just as spectacular. And you can see what is interesting is the fact that they have, as opposed to these sort of like squared off rad cowls and things like that were around the Merlin engines on the Lancaster bomber, this has more of a sort of like a radial look to it. But that's just because of the radiator, the cooling radiators. I think there's 2 different cooling radiators that are inside the engines there. But really interesting nonetheless. And a big thanks to was it Mel? Was it Mel? Was it Melvin? Neville. Was it Nev? Who showed us around. My apologies, you know I'm like with names, God bless you. But Nev, yeah, what an absolute legend. Thank you so much for giving us that very detailed tour, both of the outside of the aircraft and of course the inside of the aircraft as well. So we love to see stuff like that, folks. I mean, I know a lot of you might be like, oh, hurry up, will ya? Can you just not nip up to Heathrow on your way home, like, you know what I mean? But yes, we should be firing this thing up in around about a half an hour, I think, something like that. And let's read out a few comments. Blimey O'Reilly. Keith Cornell. Simon Morgan. Metar 2. I thought the first part was really good, very informative. 1.3 million views at the end of that we had, which was quite impressive. Simon Morgan, loved the earlier show. Turbo Tim's World, full video of his own. Okay. Jerry is just setting up Nev on camera too. I hope we see a full Nev video of his own. Thanks, Nev. I'm sure that Nev will be close by at some point. I've positioned myself, Nev the Nav, that's it, yeah. And let's you know, because obviously when I was with Peter yesterday, I've got a completely sort of like different sort of like visual of in terms of like, you know, rank and stuff like that. Like it's not plane going out. Should we just grab that? I know it's only an EasyJet 320, but we'll grab it anyway. Any opportunity in it. This little 319 going to 320 or something, or whatever it is. Oh, it's a 320 Neo, is it? Oh, nice. Wow, it's going up steep, man. Cool. Yeah, it breaks your heart when you when I drove past Gatwick this morning over the ramp to see the to see what would normally be back in the day when I used to come down here to film, and we will be back, folks. Seen a couple of 777 BA 777s going out this morning, so it's sort of like slowly creeping back, and of course I don't know what the deal is with Qatar. I know that Saudi Arabian used to come in there, didn't they? WestJet, so on and so forth. So hopefully we'll see a return of those jets at some point. But it does sort of like pull at the heartstrings when you used to see all the tall tales, all the Virgin 747s parked up down there as well. Of course, yeah, TUI's Dreamliners are all parked up over at the other end. Still operational out of here as well. We've just seen a TUI 737. This morning anyway. There we go. Gaz Grill, good day to you. Darren Golding, and a good want to say hello to pilot Chris, the A350 Virgin skipper who I met earlier on this morning. Great fella, and I look forward to meeting you again soon, Chris, and having a good natter. Hopefully we can get you on the show. I know I've got a lot of good things coming up with Virgin Atlantic, so whether you're flying down on that Madrid route or something like that, it's great to get involved with, because Virgin just seems to be a lot more relaxed with us, sort of like getting them involved in the show. BA are a little bit more corporate, so you know. Although we do hear that BA are planning to do something half decent, half special with their final two 747s next Thursday, folks, around about 8 a.m. British Airways going to be bringing out both their last two 747s, and apparently taking them out simultaneously, easy for you to say, on either runway. So if they're on 27 operations, left and right runway, and then apparently Negus, I believe, is going to do a circuit and come back and do a flyover of the airfield, which will be pretty special. And well done to BA if that is the case, and you are doing that. So we look forward to doing that next week. Something happening tomorrow, Julie? Wasn't it something happening tomorrow? I know that was going to be one of the BAs. No, Monday, that was it. And don't forget, folks, that if things do turn out the way they turn out, I don't know what's happening tomorrow, but if we get a bit stormy weather, then I'll get myself up to Heathrow, but no promises, okay? But if you're about, then you might want to tune into that. Stephen Owers loved the Lightning startup. Angela Cooper, great to see another great aviation museum. Thanks, Jerry. Yes, indeed, a very dedicated group of people here at Gatwick Aviation Museum. I'll be honest with you, I've driven past it hundreds of times, literally, and I didn't realise that it was as big as what it is. And I'm very impressed to see the expanse of land that they have here, and the very well maintained. Well, looks. Oh, is that the Turkish one now? Is it a Neo as well? Oh yeah. Ted Rogers special. Whose birthday is it, Julie? Farmer Steve. Farmer Steve, happy birthday, Farmer Steve. I guess you're a farmer, and hopefully you don't have to spend the day out in a nasty wet field. Just to show you, folks, just as an interesting thing, I've just noticed something here. Look at this, which is quite interesting. It's I don't know exactly what aircraft it is, but I'm sure someone will tell us. But look, this is what people have to watch for. Can you see that? Look at that. Yeah. So they're the sort of things that you know. I mean, little robin's nest or blackbird's nest or something like that. That's the sort of thing that engineers have to look for, even in modern aircraft, and that's why they put the engine covers on aircraft in it, eh? But anyway, there we go. All right. Oh, Mike B, is the Poland show still going? A good question, Mike B, since they're now on the naughty step. Yes, indeed. Who knows how long it's going to be for? We're not due to go out there until the middle of November. So, and we even discussed the possibility of us doing something in December. So, hopefully, obviously we'll be monitoring that, and as soon as we're able to fly back out there, who knows, we might be on the naughty step soon, and then we'll be in a whole load of poo. But anyway, there we go. So we'll have to wait and see, and just keep an eye and check on that. But yeah, we'll keep you advised on that. Peter Stuhl realised I worked 2 miles from this place in 0507. Povey Cross Road, and never knew this place existed. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I drove straight past it this morning, and because it's the entrance is just like so small. You don't see it. You don't see it from the road. You don't. I mean, you can if you're driving along the road there, you can see a couple of tails, but you need to know what you're looking for. But a great place, honestly, folks. Look them up. The Wings. The Gatwick Aviation Museum. I say Wings, they actually know the guys out at Wings Museum. Yes, indeed, TCC, Lee Davis, Rab H. Yes, I know, Cammy Hudson. Take Negus and put it in a museum. Yes, we should do something like that. But Craig B, I think Big Jet's mix of shows is excellent. We all love Heathrow, but there is so much more great aviation destinations out there. Yes, indeed. And that's the great thing. I mean, we have a great community here as well. And hello to everybody watching all around the world. If you're not a member, it doesn't matter. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Sit back, relax. We're going to get this ancient, well, I say ancient, it's only 1966 that she was decommissioned. Well, no, she wouldn't have been decommissioned till probably, I would have said, the late 70s, around about that time, when the Nimrods started coming on stream. But prior to this, you had things like the Catalina and the Sunderland flying boat, which were submarine hunters back in the shit. Whoa, whoa. But let's just have a look and see. Darth Vapor. Saw that on Family Guy last night. Dear. Did you see that? You've seen that one, didn't it? With Darth Vader. Anyway, when was the Shackleton 1991. They flew the Shackleton right the way through until 1991, folks. That is incredible. Introduction 1951, retired in 1991. Primary users Royal Air Force, South African Air Force. Produced from 1951 to 1958. So only 7 years of production, and yet they stayed active in active service up right the way through up until 1991. It's a long-range maritime patrol aircraft which was used by the Royal Air Force and the South African Air Force, developed by Avro, Avro, same people as obviously Avro, the Lancaster bomber, along with some other very famous aircraft, and the Avro Lincoln bomber, which itself has been developed of the famous wartime Avro Lancaster bomber. Let's just have a look here. Built 185 of these aircraft were built. The Shackleton was developed during the late 1940s as part of Britain's military response to the rapid expansion of the Soviet Navy, in particular its submarine force. Produced as the primary type equipped RAF Coastal Command, the Type 696, as it was initially designated, incorporated major elements of the Lincoln, as well as the Avro Tudor passenger aircraft, the Avro Tudor. Now that's the one that if you look on Wikipedia and you type Lancaster bomber passenger variant or something like that, you'll see pictures of the Lancaster Tudor at London Heathrow, and I think that is possibly one of the first aircraft that served London Heathrow, probably maybe DC-3s and stuff like that as well. And was furnished with extensive electronic suites in order to perform the anti-submarine warfare mission, along with a much improved crew environment to accommodate the long mission times involved in patrol work. Being known as for a short time as the Lincoln ASR-3, it was decided that Type 696 would be named Shackleton in service after the popular explorer Sir Ernest Shackleton. It entered operational service with the RAF in April '51. So 6 years after the war. Right, I'm going to shut up because I think we've got these guys getting her ready, much like we did preparations and so on and so forth. People being cleared away now while the guys get everything prepped. Oh, whose birthday was it? Oh, Farmer Steve, that was it, yeah. Farmer Steve. It's an easy name, isn't it? The Nimrod, yeah, of course, yeah. The Nimrod was the replacement for the... I think the Nimrod was the replacement for the Shackleton. I think I'm right in saying that. Avro Tudor wasn't a success. BOAC didn't want it to, so BSAA operated it for a while until they lost two of them. EGPX, thanks for that info. Wow. Ooh. Bit of planes? Wow. Michaela Marshall over on Facebook. Good day to you. Mark Kimberlin, 10,000 loose rivets flying in formation. Fantastic aircraft. There we go. Yeah. Hey. Wow. Brian Mitchell. Stephanie Faulkner. Thank you very much indeed, Stephanie. I really appreciate that. Jed Kenyon. Lots of new people joining us on Facebook this morning. So a big warm welcome to all of you folks, as well as all the guys and girls joining us here on YouTube as well. There we go, John Grinham confirming that the Nimrod did indeed replace the Shackleton. Yeah. That young lady over there watching her phone. Can you turn it down, please? Because I can hear myself talking. Let's wait for her to look. Watch. Brilliant. The Lancastrian, that was it, Terry Stapley. That's the one, the Lancastrian, that's it. Heathrow back in the day. So it wasn't the Tudor, it was the Lancastrian, of course it was. I should have realised that. Cammy Hudson. Matthew Watts, not Davey, Matthew. Phil Boardman, Karen Corcoran, good day to you. Brody Whittaker, tuning in from Australia. So they're in their huddle at the moment, discussing fire procedures, I think, emergency procedures, anything should happen. There was also METAR 2 saying there was also Lockheed P2 Neptune for maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare. Mark Jones, loving the show today, thank you very much indeed. Lee Davis, pity we haven't got an SR-177 to fire up. Well, we love these. We love these static exhibits that are active. Patsy K21. Thank you, Patsy, and it's great to have you with us. Always very humbling to have these the kind words that you give us and kind words of support. Really appreciate it. First flight of Heathrow was a BSA-8 Lancastrian. Wow, EGPX, thank you. Shackleton Reg P's, Paul MK saying. To be honest with you, Reg, sorry, Paul, I think you'll... Reg, I called him Reg. Sorry, Paul. I think the best thing to do is possibly... look it up on the website, because I can't see it from this angle, because she's nose on to me more or less. I'm sure someone will give it anyway. Rhonda Jaeger at the Newark Air Museum, been there, and I've seen the Lancaster Association also owns an Avro Shackleton. Yes, I've been there to the one, and I've been on board the Newark Air Museum's Shackleton, but I've also been on their Vulcan as well. So there. Yeah, that was something that we were talking about yesterday with All Nippon Airways, ANA, doing these flights to nowhere, which is basically just a tour on their aircraft. And we sort of like, it's quite an interesting thing to calculate, to wonder about the costs of running. Let's just say British Airways decided that they were going to keep one of their 747s for the time being, and just until things pick up again, obviously, and in order to maybe get a little bit of income, I don't know, because you'd have to weigh up the cost of fuel for crewing it as well, because obviously you need to crew the aircraft, but just doing flights from Heathrow all the way around the whole of the UK and then back into Heathrow. So I don't know how long it would take to fly all the way around the whole of the UK, up Scotland and back, probably maybe a couple of hours or something like that. So how much fuel would it burn? Cost of the air crew, how much revenue could you bring in? In other words, how many people, because 90% of people, let's face it, 90% of people would want to be sitting at the window. They would want to be sitting in the window seat, wouldn't they? Unless they had sort of like clowns on board or something like that for entertainment or something. But I think in general, why would they have clowns? Like big with the big silly feet and balloons. Yeah, I mean, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? If you did these flights to nowhere with British Airways and how much revenue they could bring in if they were to. Didn't we talk about this in the past about how many passengers? Was it? How many rows of seats there were versus how many passengers you would get on it if you. But you'd have to. The only problem is as well you have to consider things like this. Centre of gravity. So if you only have half the aircraft booked, then you'd have to put them all in sort of like near to the wing anyway. But anyway, we'll talk about that later on another show. But we were talking earlier on. Well, Nev the Nav, talking about the cannons, the 20mm cannons that they had on the Shackleton. There is the. Of course, it's not a turret setup like the Lancaster bomber and other bombers of the Second World War, but more a straightforward up and down rake on the guns, because obviously when they went after these things, they would, when they went to drop the depth charges or the torpedoes, they would also fire off a few rounds of cannon, and of course, as far as I'm aware, the Royal Air Force, I don't know if the Royal Air Force actually had any combat with the Shackleton. Nev was mentioning something out on a couple of wars out in the Middle East, perhaps, back in the day when they supported some of the forces on the ground and also out at sea, but I don't think there's been any actual combat with anybody at sea with the Shackleton. But anyway, there we go. Eddie Walder saying the Tudor was a later aircraft and Lancaster designer Roy Chadwick was killed in a crashing one. Blimey O'Reilly. Didn't know that. I never knew that, man. That's incredible. Eddie, thank you for that information. M14 guy, DFW, checking in. How you doing, my friend? Yes. Yes. Oh, wow, really? Yeah, man. Yeah, Speed Freaks. What's... Oh, wow. I thought it was some eccentric millionaire who got killed. Oh wow. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, well, God rest his soul. He obviously died doing something he loved anyway. Chris Bevan, thank you very much indeed. There's a programme next Thursday, I think, on More 4 called Guy Martin Spitfire's really interesting Karen Corcoran. Yes, that's doing the rounds, I think, for probably the third time, the Guy Martin show. It's very interesting. He's a good lad, old Guy Martin. Hey, up lad. He's from Yorkshire, I think. Is he from Yorkshire? He's always got, like, greasy hands and like fingernails, all like loads of oil under his fingernails, and like, you know, his hair's all over the gaff, but he's a good lad. J for Jerry on the side of the Shackleton. There you go, yo son, right? Rab H, 100,000 by Christmas. Oh, is this subscribers on YouTube? Yeah, we're going to try and do what we're going to try and do now, folks, is we're going to try and do a virtual plaque presentation with Big Jet TV. It's either that, or I'm going to fly to Switzerland, go outside their offices, and they're going to lower it down on a piece of string. I think that would be the funniest way to do it, wouldn't it? Michael K. Jerry, shot of the year during the week with the Four Queens in Cologne. Yeah, my goodness me. Got a great, some great feedback from the guy. That just brought goosebumps. That did. Michael K. Thank you very much indeed. Cool, blimey, me old nip-nops have gone off. But kind of hurt when they go on, don't they? But look at that. Yeah, nice. was saying earlier on, it's a shame seeing all the TUI Dreamliners parked up. Well, it's good to see them flying. Even better, isn't it? Sweet. Oh, he's going to break that cloud. Let me just double check before he, just in case he breaks that cloud and I'm looking at it and it's like, wow, we missed that shot. Just double check. Oh no, he's too far away from that. Oh, there, he just clipped it. He just clipped it. So the startup sequence with the Shackleton, flight engineer sits behind the position. If you watched this morning, folks, you would have seen the interior layout. On the right hand side, as we're looking at it, is where all the operators are, the navigators, two navigators, the two sonic boom boys. Hey. It's funny that they are called sonic, but anyway, sonic. Oh no, they're called sonic operators. In other words, sonar operators. They drop the sonar buoys, and then far end is the radar operator. Far left radar operator. Then the two sonic operators. Then the two navigators. One is. I'm going to get my jacket. I'm bleeding freezing all of a sudden. Is there another one going out? Look at that, TUI. TUI are busy today, aren't they? Is it? No. Might hear it. So yes, got a new member. There we go. Ray Hicking. Welcome, Ray. Hope you're enjoying the show. Hope everybody else is enjoying it as well. Nick McNair. Tell your friends and family. Yeah, come and join us here on Big Jet TV, folks. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button if you want. Let's try and break that 100,000 barrier by the end of the show, eh? Good luck with that. John Grinham, good afternoon. Max Woodman, Stuart Bailey, good afternoon to you. Been watching this since 10 o'clock this morning. Good day to you. Jane Beret, thoroughly enjoying watching Anglo-Dutch. Great show once again, Jerry and Gilly. Thank you very much indeed. Farmer Steve, thank you very much indeed. Farmer Steve, Sam T, David Curtis, Kathy Marshall, Rich. That was the fella in. I think we're ready, folks. I think we're nearly ready. The telltale sign will be when I see someone. Seems like the activity around the aircraft. I think they start at 3, 2, 4, 1. I think the start sequence is. Yeah, it's either 3, 4, 2, and 1, or 3, 2, 4, 1. Go. People in the we have someone on the flight deck now. Look back at the show from this morning, folks, where we looked on board the aircraft. Completely authentic, untouched since it stopped flying. Literally, a great example of a flying machine. Wow, David Curtis and his brother used to play in scrap Avro Tudors at Stansted about 60 years ago. Wow. Wow. You'd want to grab some bits off of that. I remember going somewhere. I can't remember where it was, but with my brother-in-law, and there was an abandoned Canadair CL44 swingtail, and I was determined to rip something out of it, and ended up taking home a panel, which I put in the garden. Which I think they're just priming. Are they possibly priming? Just checking the props are full and free. What is interesting here, folks, is that the frames per second on, if you've seen when we did the Lancaster, it looks like the props are moving extremely slowly. So this is going to be very interesting to see just what we see with the props when they fire up. There's Peter. Peter, once he gives the signal, the wind-up signal, which we saw this morning from our starter, we got a left and right. So we got first and second pilot, and behind the pilot on our left, their right, sits the flight engineer. There will be a flight engineer on board the aircraft because they're the start-up sequence. Oh. Hey, old lad. Yes, I know that, Reg, but apart from the roads. Richard Torb is in the house. Richo, good to see you here, my friend. Hope you're well. Craig Whip. Nick Knowles.
He operated for 10 years before being retired to RAF Cosford in the late 60s, and he then spent the next 20 years doing engineering training. The museum obtained the aircraft in late 1988, and it arrived in childhood in pieces. After much hard work by a small team of dedicated enthusiasts, Juliet was brought back to life in the early part of the millennium. Several engine runs were held during that period, and then established for a few years in one factory until about 2006. This ended when Kevin Strace, our chief engineer, who today is going to be part of the run team, decided he was going to and we managed to get all of the engines working again, and from that time until now the engines have been fired to the engine.
Mr. Steve.
And they remain as a testament to Rolls-Royce engineering, and that they did very little attention during that time.
I found a spoon, sir.
The Shackleton we have here is a Mark III phase 3, which means it is the only 6-engined aircraft that the RAF ever had.
Oh, it's just starting to rain. Can you Adam and Eve it? Oh my goodness me, that is just fantastic, isn't it? Thank you, thank you.
Today, we hope to start the engines in the
It's not on radar. Why isn't it on radar? Apart from the roads.
Number 2 is on the right hand side of the inner engine. And number 3 is the inner engine on the left hand side. And number 4 is the upper engine.
Yeah. It does have a little bit of a dog look about it, yeah. Yeah.
The Rolls-Royce Griffon 47 litre V12 engine.
It's even got a little mouse, look. It's even got a little mouse. Oh, can you believe it? I mean, this is just fantastic, isn't it? Poor people. Thank you, God. Here we go. folks. And thank you to the Gatwick Aviation Museum for waiting. Audio good? Got audio, yeah? No. Congratulations. Got to give them a round of applause, folks. All these folks all these chaps are volunteers, I believe, as far as I'm aware. Maybe a couple of them are on the payroll. As the crowds flock back to their cars. There you go. There you have it. Thank you. I've got to say a big thanks to the museum and for everybody here for waiting. For me, for us. We lost the battery, folks. We lost the battery right at the last minute. Can you add them an e-bit? But thankfully, they held on for us. Had they not done, we would have been live halfway through the run. But I've got to say a big thanks to you for your patience. It happens a lot if you're a regular on Big Jet TV. These things happen. It's just live TV, and you know the deal. But yes, thanks so much to all the folks here at the Gatwick Aviation Museum for the great shows that they put on. Check them out. Is it gatwickaviation.com or co.uk, Gilly? Okay, lots of dashes. It's Gatwick there. The link is in the description. Gatwick-aviation.aviation.co.uk. But anyway, yes, look them up and make sure if you're local here, or even if you're not local, if you're spending some time down in the south of England, I'm slowly sinking. If you're down in the south of England, make sure you look them up, folks, and come down. And they're open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and not open all week, but throughout the year, as far as I'm aware. But make sure you come and check them out, because they're a great bunch of guys, and very willing to have a chat with you as well and let you know everything about the museum and about the aircraft. They're knowledgeable about every single aircraft, and their plan is, especially with the aircraft that are inside the hangars there, is to get them running at some point in time. But that all depends on people supporting them like ourselves, so do whatever you can, and make sure you look them up. But that is about it from us. Has Barbarella gone yet, Gilly? Or are we going to do a mad dash? We're going to do a mad dash. We'll have a go, folks. Keep an eye out. I'm going to make myself scarce and head back to London, ye olde London town, and see if we can get Barbarella going out 27 right. Wouldn't that be a treat? But anyway, we'll see what we can do. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to all our new members as well, and thank you once again to the great folks here at Gatwick Aviation Museum. No doubt we'll be back at some point, and wish you all the best. See you later. Cheers, bye. Okay, GP, go for a quick cut.